Welcome back to Moses Mabhida, and of course it is election season. 2024 is the general election year, and of course all the parties will now start telling us, the electorate, what it is that they can deliver, and whether that actually materializes or not, a totally different question. But of course it is time for parties to convince the electorate of what they think they can achieve. And up first is of course the economic freedom fighters here, and up first yet Moses Mabhida, I should say, because it's the EFF, the ANC and the Inkatha Freedom Party who will be launching their manifestos here at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in eThekwini in KwaZulu-Natal. I'm joined now by the Secretary General of the EFF, Mzingisi Marshall Dlamini. Thanks so much for coming through. So we've been speculating about the reasons why the EFF chose Moses Mabhida and KwaZulu-Natal to launch your manifesto, but you can of course tell us exactly why you did.
Good morning to the viewers at home and those that are still coming to the stadium who are here. All is safe, who are prepared to start right on time. We came here, Moses Mabhida Stadium. We remember that 2019 elections, including the experts who does polling, they could not anticipate the outcomes or the achievement that the EFF will get, because all the time we always said was stronger in the inland provinces. But KwaZulu-Natal 2019, we moved from 70,000 votes to 390,000 votes. So to us as the leadership of the EFF, it was the people of KwaZulu-Natal that they were raising their hand to say, we are here in KwaZulu-Natal, we support the party, we love the party, we believe into the party. So we had to come to Moses Mabhida Stadium, to the people of KwaZulu-Natal, because it's people of KwaZulu-Natal that have called the party to say, come to KwaZulu-Natal. That's why they voted for this organization in numbers. In the 2021 local government elections, we moved from 60 councillors to 160 councillors. Again, here in KwaZulu-Natal, the biggest growth, also as another confirmation that people of KwaZulu-Natal, they love this organization, they believe in this organization, they know that this is the only organization that will truly liberate them in terms of land, in terms of jobs and opportunities, in terms of free education. We know that the institutions of higher learning here in KwaZulu-Natal, all of them are led by the EFF Student Command. So all the signs were there that we have to come and launch our manifesto here in KwaZulu-Natal.
And in terms of your internal polling, what is it telling you? What is it showing you in terms of what the key issues are for the people in KwaZulu-Natal, one? And two, who are those people who are voting for you and are calling for you to come to KwaZulu-Natal?
Look, the youth of KwaZulu-Natal, they are voting for us in majority. That's why I'm saying, look at the signs in the institutions of higher learning. Even if you go to Ongoye, where it's a stronghold of the IFP, the University of Zululand, it's under the EFF leadership. When the Student Command contested, they win. The DUT, it has been under the EFF. MUT, the Mangosuthu University, named after the IFP leader, it's under the EFF leadership. So the youth of KwaZulu-Natal, they're voting for us, and they are mentioning a number of things. The access to education. You would know that here in KwaZulu-Natal we've got a lot of rural towns. We've only got one metro out of 11 regions and 44 municipalities. Most of them are rural and they don't have access to education. When we're talking job opportunities, when we're talking industrialization in KwaZulu-Natal, we've got the biggest port here that is supposed to have created a lot of industries, a lot of job opportunities, but there's no development, there's no direction, because the leadership that is currently leading the province, they've got no clue of what is happening. So the people of KwaZulu-Natal, especially the young ones, they're saying we want to remain in the province, we don't want to move to other provinces, because we know this province has got a potential and it's so rich. We just need leadership that is decisive, leadership that will come and make sure that KwaZulu-Natal takes its rightful place as being one of the economic hubs of this country.
Expropriation of land without compensation for equal redistribution. In a province like KwaZulu-Natal, where there is very strong traditional links to the land, how does the EFF propose to do that?
Look, our proposal remains the same as in our founding manifesto, that we're going to expropriate land without compensation. And we are saying the traditional leadership, their involvement, it's important, and to make sure that that use of the land, because we're not expropriating this land just so that it can sit in the government. We're saying this land must be in the custodian of the state. But in terms of use and availability, it will be used by people of KwaZulu-Natal, including traditional leadership. Will say, this is how this community is arranged. Let's make sure it moves. Because if you look at even the land in KwaZulu-Natal, majority of the land, out of close to 12 million hectares, about 8 million hectares of that land is sitting on white hands, and there are farms that are lying fallow, and no one is looking after them. So the traditional leadership we've engaged. That is why, if you look at even our history with the kingdom of the Zulus, even from the departed King Zwelithini, we went to explain to him. And that's why he welcomed us in our 4th anniversary. He even gave us his blessing. He even gave us a cow to say, now that I understand your policy when it comes to the issues of land, because most people were distorting that and saying that we're going to remove the traditional leadership and make sure that they don't exist, until we had to explain that they will always have a role to play. But we're saying the land must be in the custodian of the state, so that everyone has got access to land without any limitation, because our people, they don't have access to land.
So if we look at the contestation between land held in the Ingonyama Trust, for example, vis-a-vis the constitutional imperatives with people's right to own the land, I want to know practically, when you say, you've come to a resolve with the traditional leadership in KwaZulu-Natal of how you're going to work together, explain it to a 22-year-old Tinswalo. You were not at the stage of donation address, but Tinswalo is sitting somewhere in Ndwendwe. Explain how this is going to work.
Okay. The land will be expropriated. It's going to be under the custodian of the state. And we've always simplified it with the issue of water to say the water rights are under the custodian of the state, but you've got access to water and there's no interference of anyone. So that's how the land is going to be. In Ingonyama Trust itself, you know that it gets some of its allocation from the state. So there is state involvement. So including the land, everything that is the land and under the ground, it will be the custodian of the state. But in terms of who is the traditional leadership, they will still have a say in terms of saying, you're going to be sitting in this place, this is the business that you want to do, in consultation with traditional leadership, as it is now, that if you want to open a business in Zululand, you will go to traditional leadership and say, this is what I need to do, and then you get allocated a piece of land. But the custodianship, so that everyone must have access to land. We must never get to a situation where there is a land that cannot be accounted for. So even with the traditional leadership, once people say, we want to have this land, so you can't have a traditional leader and say, no, these are all my farms and I've got nothing to do with them, and it ends here. The state will be able to say, yes, the land belongs to us. They've applied for the land. Traditional leader, you have to allow these people to do whatever that they want to do, whether for settlement or if they want to do business. That's what we're saying. Access to land without any limitation.
What about the land that's already in private hands?
All of it. We're going to expropriate all South Africa's land, from Cape to Musina. All of it is going to be under the custodian of the state.
So what will that mean if I own a home on the Umhlanga beachfront? Will that mean the land belongs to the state and the building belongs to me?
Exactly, the land belongs to the state, but it's your own building. You've got the right to use your own building to do everything. That's why we are saying, simplify it as even minerals. Minerals, the mining companies now, they make profit, they do as they please, but they are in the custodian of the state, so that we make sure that the issue here that we want to deal with is to have access, where we're not going to have people that can decide that they can destroy the economy by holding on to land, and we cannot be able to have development. The state needs to have a say on the custodianship of the land, so that anyone else, if you look at the areas, we've got farms that we don't even know who are the owners, but we can't do anything because it's just private farms. They can even go as far and destroying the economy, and we cannot accept that.
Well, interesting conversation there. And of course, the land has always been one of the cornerstone issues that the economic freedom fighters have been advocating for. So that, of course, was the Secretary General of the EFF, Marshal Dlamini. And we'll be speaking to many more of the EFF leadership as we progress. And we also have our own analysts here from the SABC. But for now, Criselda, back to you in studio.
Sakina, thank you very much indeed. Live to us from Durban's Moses Mabhida Stadium, with the EFF, of course, launching its election manifesto. But of course, that particular stadium will host 2 more high-profile manifesto launches. That's, of course, in the next coming weeks, as parties pull out all the stops for the crucial vote